here from musculardevelopment.com. We're at the 2014 Arnold Sports Festival with IFBB Pro Guy Cisternino, my favorite midget from out east.
Yes, sir.
My absolute. Oh, she wasn't laughing at me. She was laughing at you.
I'm laughing at
everybody's laughing at you. No, I'm just kidding. Guy, pretty solid year last year. Came out, had a couple of big shows, second place in Chicago, headed out to the Olympia. That had to be a great experience. Tell us what you've been up to in the off season.
I took some time off right after Arizona. Got my knee scoped. I got a torn meniscus back in 2011 from a really bad car accident I was in. So I got that fixed. I walked out of surgery, so it wasn't a major surgery. Everybody heard I got surgery. Like, oh, he's done. He can't ever squat again.
How long did you have to, back off on the leg training?
I didn't do any leg training for 5 weeks, and then I started back. I mean, I did my own therapy, like rehab with extensions and, a lot of stuff with bands. And then probably right around 6-7 weeks after the surgery, I was back squatting 405.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be my next question. I mean, how long did it take to get kind of back to your old form?
You know what? There was really no pain. It was like almost like stiff, the knee, just from the surgery and the scar tissue that develops a little bit after the surgery, which obviously dissipates after time. So the biggest thing I had was that it was tight, not really a lot of pain. I mean, now it feels great. My legs feel better than ever. One of the things that killed me in the past, my left leg was not overly or underdeveloped than my right leg, but something that I could see in my photos that my left leg wasn't as developed as my right. So now that that had to do because of the meniscus tear and the pain and favoring it when you train. So now that that's fixed, that obviously won't be a problem anymore. So
yeah, well, it was a little bit of a worry for fans, obviously, with your quads and your hamstrings definitely being one of your strong points. Something that definitely pushes you away from the rest of the pack at the shows. If you lost those, definitely you lose a little bit of ground. But good to hear that. What do you have coming up? You got any shows coming up?
Yeah, I started dieting a couple weeks ago for New York. Everybody thinks because my face is as chubby as it normally is that everybody's like, oh, hey, good luck this weekend. I'm like, I'm not competing, but thanks.
Not this weekend.
Yeah, I would have loved to do this show, but if I didn't have to get the surgery on my knee, I would have loved to do the Arnold. It's the first Arnold 212 in history, so I would have loved nothing more than to do it. But the fact is that health comes first in the sport, and my knee's been an issue that I've been battling for almost 3 years, and I had to get it fixed. That was more important to me than competing in the show, regardless of what show it was. So I had to get it done. So I haven't competed in New York since 2012, and I have a really good feeling about this year. I didn't have a really long off season, but the off season I didn't get as big as I normally get. But I looked like I was 240, but I barely reached 230. I think that's going to be something that's going to be good for me. I'm not going to have to do as much cardio as I normally do. And the way Chris is thinking is, whoever comes to New York, they're going to have a tough time competing against me.
That's the mindset, man. Make it tough for anybody else. Now, did you get a chance to watch the 212 prejudging at all earlier today? I wasn't here. I was at the Veterans covering the amateur. What did you think of the 212 prejudging?
Some shocking things that I saw. One, Flex, in my opinion, walked away with the show. And I think him and David are clear cut first and second.
And that was kind of what people were expecting.
Yeah, and the only critique I have is, when David's legs have come up, and that's been a knock on David for a while. But when Dave turns around, his hamstring and glutes just aren't there. But it's when they turn aroed, Flex is so good all around structure.
He's complete, yeah.
Very complete. But from behind, David's back. David used to have one of the best backs in the open, period. So from the back, David beats Jose, I think, in a back double bicep and a back lat spread. Now, I'm talking about two of my really good friends,
right,
but I'm talking about what I see on stage.
Absolutely.
But from the waist down in those shots, Flex blows him away.
Right.
So, it's to me in those shots is David's back that much better and overpowering than Flex's to where it's going to give him an edge in those shots, and I don't think so.
No, not so much.
And then I have been in Jose's room as the week's gone on.
He looks like he's in fantastic shape from what I've just seen him hanging around.
He does. He was just a little flat, but I thought his condition was still really good. His color was a little off, but when he walked out, I was sitting with with one of the judges that was on the panel, and I go, and Hidetada looked good, looks better at 212,
Right.
without a doubt, but he looks 212. He doesn't look like he should have ever been an open guy.
Right.
And Aaron Clark looked good, came in shredded. Color was atrocious. His color was very blotchy, which I thought that was going to maybe knock him back a little bit, because when your color's not good,
it's tough, when details matter.
Yeah, but you could see his detail through the crappy tan. But yeah, so I would have to put Aaron ahead of Hidetada. So I would have Flex, David, Aaron, Hidetada. But yeah, the biggest shocker for me was Jose not getting in top.
Yeah, I wasn't. Like I said, I wasn't able to be at the show, and I was looking at the call-outs, on the fellow MD people doing the play-by-plays, and I saw the first call-out, and I was pretty shocked as well that Jose wasn't in there. Not to discredit Aaron Clark or Hidetada, but I had assumed. You think it was interesting that they pulled out a top four and then they put Jose in a second call? I mean, a lot of times at bodybuilding shows of every level, when you get big classes, they pull out groups of 5. So was it something where you wanted to see Jose at least standing next to those guys?
I would have liked to see Jose stand next to, when I saw Jose in his room yesterday posing for Chris, I looked at him and I go, if Flex slips an inch,
you got it.
You're going to win the show. Because he looked like a cartoon character yesterday. But that's the thing about this sport.
That's bodybuilding, man.
Yesterday was yesterday. It wasn't an hour ago on the stage.
Yeah, it doesn't even count yesterday. It doesn't count this morning. It counts those 10 minutes you're on stage.
Which is why I don't ever post progress pics. Juan Morel, John De La Rosa. I don't do that shit. Don't stop posting your progress pics on IG, because the day of the show counts, not 8 weeks out selfies. Knock it off.
How did I know that when I interviewed Guy, he was going to stir some shit up? cut the interview. Cut it.
They're my buddies. But that's why I don't ever do progress pics, man.
I don't like progress pics myself. No, the camera guy that you guys can't see, Nick, shot a few video clips of me the other day. I posted about 2 shots. My personal feeling on progress pics is, and you've got a huge bodybuilding fan base, but for people who are, normal competitors like myself, where, your 2,000 Facebook friends, 1,900 of them don't know anything about bodybuilding, and you get people posting progress pics, and every Joe Blow who doesn't know anything about bodybuilding, you could post pictures at 8 weeks out, and they'd be like, oh, you look great, you're going to kill it, it's yours, and you're like, and it can create like this false sense of confidence that's not really there, because the feedback you're getting is from people who, they're not judges, and if we're being real, a lot of times they're just trying to blow smoke up your ass.
Well, it is like, I've seen it as an amateur growing up. So many people post progress pics, and even I go, holy shit, they look great. Yeah. And then you see them on stage and you're like, what the hell happened? So
I've been there in the past.
It's like bad karma, and I've never done it, and you will never find one picture of me leading up to a show.
What about in the mirror at the gym selfies?
Shirt off.
How do you feel about those?
I've done a couple in the gym, hood on, soaking wet selfies, but not.
All my friends on Facebook know how I feel about selfies. It's not good. So, but anyhow, we're gonna wrap things up. I could probably sit here and BS with Guy all afternoon. We got to hit a couple more interviews. Let him get back to his fans. I'm gonna go get a picture with Cain Velasquez over there. So for David Baye with IFBB Pro, Guy Cisternino, look for him at the 2014 New York Pro. Muscular. He's coming for that ass. for musculardevelopment.com at the 2014 Arnold Sports Festival. Hey.